BuzzWordAthon wrap up for you. So this is a readathon organised by BooksandLala. I will link her channel for you down below. This readathon ran from the 12th to the 18th of June, and the buzzword was you. So you had to read books that had the word you somewhere in the title. So I did do a TBR at the beginning of the week, so if you want to know what books I had planned to read, then please do go and check out that video. But let's talk about the books that I actually read. So starting off, I read Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. So this is a book about a girl called Lydia who was found at the very beginning of the book dead, drowned in a lake. This surprises her parents because Lydia can't swim and has never learnt to swim. So what she was doing out on the lake in the night, nobody knows. So this book actually follows two timelines. The first timeline is in the past, before Lydia was born, as far back as how the parents met. And then the second timeline is how the family are coping after the death of their daughter, their sibling, because she has a brother and a sister as well. I believe that Celeste Ng is Asian herself, and the father in this book is also Asian. He's Chinese, and the book describes about how his father managed to make his way over to America by pretending to be the son of somebody, and he was able to get a job as a janitor at a very prestigious school. Because of that, his son, Lydia's father, was able to go to the school and get a really good education, and he, in his adulthood, became a teacher. The mother is American, and when she was young, she always wanted to be a doctor, and she went to university. That's where she met her father, Lydia's father, and it describes about, you know, how they met and how their lives came about as such, their little family. To me, personally, I preferred the timeline after Lydia's death, how the family coped or didn't cope, how each one found a way of dealing with the knowledge that their daughter or their sibling was no longer there, as each family member dealt with it very, very differently. However, I didn't enjoy this book. I gave it a 2-star in the end because I felt like Lydia's death was almost like a sideline story. This was more about interracial marriages and the bullying and the racism that this family endured because of a mixed race family, and how it can tear even the family apart. How it can have an impact on the kids being raised in an interracial family. I felt like that was more the storyline rather than Lydia's death. So I never found out what they never told you. I don't feel like I found out. When I bought this, I put this on my mystery crime thrillers shelf. I don't think it belongs there. There was no mystery. There was no crime, there was no thrill, there was no suspense, not for me. So yeah, it was a big hit, like a big miss for me. So that was that one. The next book, however, was probably my favourite book in the whole week. This is The Secrets You Hide by Kate Helm. And my husband actually picked this out for me, and when I finished this book, I went straight downstairs, I gave him a kiss and a cuddle, and I thanked him for buying me this book. This book is about a girl called Georgia. She is a courtroom artist. Here in the UK, we don't allow cameras or photographers or video cameras or anything like that into our courtrooms. We rely on courtroom artists, and these pictures that they create are then used by the newscasters as a visual aid to show what's going on inside the court. And Georgia is currently covering a case regarding a famous footballer who's rich and can get whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And he's accused of raping a young lady. And so that's going on in the story. And then you also have the storyline that Georgia has been commissioned to paint a picture of a local hero for an upcoming book. This book is going to be about courtroom artists and famous court cases that they have covered. And this picture of the local hero that she's going to paint is from a court case that she covered many, many years before. In this case, the local hero is deemed as such because he saved his stepchildren from a house fire, sadly losing his wife and unborn child in that same fire. And the person accused of setting that fire was his eldest son, his motivation being that he hated his new stepmom after his mum had killed herself, and he wanted to get rid of them. So Georgia goes to paint this picture of this man, and while she's doing that, things start to make her question the truth of the story. And she has her own history, dark history, and you get to learn a bit more about that as well throughout the book. And I must say, I'm normally pretty good at guessing who done it. However, with this, when it was revealed, I never saw it coming. I was so gobsmacked. I was like, never. It was never that person. I never saw that one come in. All the way throughout the book, I was like, I'm sure it's them. Nope, 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 it's them. Nope, nope. And then when the reveal was revealed, when the villain was revealed, I was like, I never even had that person on my radar. So yes, this got 5 stars for me. This was amazing. I would definitely recommend this to anybody who loves a good thriller. Let's see if you can figure it out before I did, because I did not see it coming at all. I was shocked. My jaw literally dropped. I loved it, and I'm not normally one to reread a thriller or mystery, because once it's revealed, all of the excitement has kind of gone. But I would definitely reread this one. Oh my god, I would definitely reread this one just to see if I could pick up on those hints a little bit faster, a little bit quicker. Just because I never saw it coming. I just never saw it coming. And I loved it. From the moment the story began, the author was like, come a little bit closer. I have a story to tell. And it was just like, yes, please, tell me more, tell me more. This was definitely a page turner. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So that was that one. The third book I read was this Mills and Boon, It Had to Be You. And this is actually 2 books in here. So you have the first one, which was called Molly Cooper's Dream Day, and that was written by Barbara Hannay. And this one is about a girl called Molly. She's an Australian, and she has this dream of falling in love with an English gentleman. And then you have Patrick, who happens to be an Englishman, who is a banker in London. Molly wants to go to London to follow her dream, but she can't afford to go on holiday. So her friend suggests that she puts herself forward for a house swap. That way then she doesn't have the expense of hotels and things. And Patrick is a workaholic, always working at his job, never takes time off. His relationships suffer because he's always cancelling on dates. and he decides, after his latest girlfriend has dumped him, that it's time to take a break and just get away from it all. So he comes across her advert for a house swap for 3 months. That's for 3 months. And together they swap houses. So the story is mainly told through emails, which is a strange format because I've never come across a story like that. So it's like emails to Patrick from Molly. Subject, a bedtime story, that kind of thing. So it is told in the format of emails, and that was really weird, but eventually it was really kind of interesting. And then there's a couple of diary inserts in there as well, and then actually at the end, when it goes into normal prose, it kind of throws you a little bit. But I really enjoyed the story. It's a Mills and Boon, come on, we all know what the ending was going to be, but it was still a really enjoyable story. The second book was, let me find it, Shipwrecked with Mr. Wrong, and that was written by Nikki Logan. So like that. And this one was about a girl called Honor, who spends 8 months of the year on a deserted island off the coast of Australia, and she spends her time researching the natural habitats and the animals of this island, and she kind of goes there as an escape almost from real life, because many years before she lost her husband and her son in a boating accident, and she is left with scars on her body from that same accident. And one day when she's on the island, she notices a man there, and he's in a boat, and he crashes the boat on the coral surrounding the island, and he's stranded, he's shipwrecked. So he uses her radio to radio for help, and they basically tell him, sorry, we have a big catastrophe on an oil rig just down the shore, so all our resources are geared that way, you're going to have to wait. Of course he is. So they spend about 10 days on this deserted island. Ooh, what possibly could happen? So yes, cheesy, yes. Tropey, yes. Smutty, definitely. Loved it. Oh my god, yes, I did. I did love them. I gave it a 3-star because, look, I can't really give Mills and Boon anything more than a 3-star because it's not great literature, it's not great writing, but it's fun, it's enjoyable, and I'm glad I read it, so it's definitely a 3-star for me. The next book I read was actually an extra book that I picked up just before the readathon started, so this wasn't in my TBR video, but this is You by Caroline Kepnes. I got this out of my local library, that's why you're getting the flashback, because it's in the library binding with all the plastic on the front, so I'll try and angle it like that. So obviously everybody has heard of the Netflix program based on this book. I've never watched it. It sounds an intriguing premise, like a story told from the stalker's point of view. And I really liked that idea, that thought of getting into the mindset of a stalker. So the stalker is a man named Joe. He works in a bookshop, and his new obsession is a girl called Guinevere Beck, and he calls her Beck for short. And the whole book is written, as I say, as if he is talking to you, as if you are Beck. And I thought that would be really creepy and really like atmospheric. No. No. I listened to this on audiobook. I thought that would help because obviously if I read it, it's going to be in a woman's voice. But when I listened to the audiobook, it was read by a man. So I thought that made sense. But this book is very crass. I don't mind swearing, okay? I swear myself, maybe not on video or too much in public, but I do swear. But this was crass with its swearing. Like, this was like, it made me uncomfortable. And I think maybe it's supposed to make you uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable through the crassness of their speech. I mean, I know some people talk like this, but I don't deal with those people because I don't like those sorts of people that talk this way. And it just, to me, it was like the way that the characters were, and like, if I was supposed to feel scared for Beck, I didn't, because I didn't like her. She's not a likable character. But neither was he. So I didn't like his victim. I didn't like him. I didn't like anybody in this book. Sadly for me, this was a 2-star as well. So that was a shame. It can return to the library now. And then the final book I read, because I did only read 5 books this week, and I know some of you are thinking, only 5? But yeah, 5 I think is probably my maximum. I kind of burnt myself out near the end. So this book actually took me a little bit longer than normal to read. So this is P.S. I Love You by Cecilia Ahern. I love the movie. Gerard Butler, yes please. So this book is about a married couple called Holly and Jerry. They seem to have it all: a wonderful marriage, a wonderful life, and then Jerry dies of a brain tumour. And this story tells about how he has left her letters that she opens up one a month for the next year, I think it is. And he's trying to help her sort of deal with her grief and move on in her life. I know one of my subscribers said that they enjoyed the book more than the film. For me, I think I can enjoy both. I can enjoy both simultaneously, because although yes, they do have the same story, they both tell it differently, and I can appreciate both ways. So I think I gave it 3 stars. Because it kind of lost me somewhere in the middle, but that could have been because I'd kind of run out of steam by the end of the week, and I think I'd pushed myself too much. If I'd have had more time to just leisurely read this at my own pace, not in a readathon, then I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this one on my shelves. And again, I listened to it on audio, which was great because the narrator was Irish as well. So she had this beautiful lilting voice that was trying to send me to sleep. Yeah, I really did enjoy it, but definitely want to like read it again in the future when I'm not so rushed to read it, and I can just thoroughly like delve myself into it and enjoy it at a more leisurely pace. So that was that one. I did start a 6th book. The book I started was The Very Thought of You by Rosie Allison, and I got up to there, which was page 41. And this is a book set at the beginning of the Second World War. So it's about a girl called Anna. She's 8 years old, and she's being sent from London to a manor house in the Yorkshire Moors for evacuation while her mother stays in London. And the point up to which I'd read, she had just arrived at that house, at that manor house, and she's already had an injury and had the doctor come out to see her. But so she seems quite a clumsy little girl. But yeah, so I did start to read this, but seriously, I just kind of like, I think the last day of the readathon, I didn't really read much at all. I think I was just finishing off P.S. I Love You and reading the 41 pages of this, so kind of just ran out of steam at the end. Normally I wouldn't pick up a book like this. I only picked it up because it had the word you in the title, and I found it in a charity shop, so I thought I'll grab you. In all honesty, in those 41 pages, I actually really enjoyed the writing. It was very, I don't know, straight to the point. It didn't seem as flowery as I expected it to be, so I did actually enjoy reading the 41 pages that I did read. So I am going to keep this on my shelf. I probably will take the bookmark out and then just start from the beginning next time I pick it up, maybe later on in the year, maybe closer to like November when we're celebrating Remembrance Day here in the UK. This would be a good book to read over that weekend, because it's very it would be very fitting for that time. So yeah, I'm probably going to reread this later on in the year, when it's much more fitting. But yeah, did really enjoy that, what little I read of it anyway. And the book that I never got round to was this one, and I really wanted to. I was taking the books, I had little, where are they now? I had little scraps of paper with each book title on, and I was pulling them out of a jar to decide which book I was reading next, and I felt like that would maybe force me to read some of the books that I maybe didn't think I might get to otherwise. So yeah, that's how I did it. So the book I didn't get to, sorry, something in my eye, was Jojo Moyes' After You. So this is the second book from her series, the first one being Me Before You, which was made into a film. So yeah, I didn't get to this book, but I'm going to keep it on my shelves and probably read it again later on in the year, maybe, or maybe next year, I don't know. So that is my wrap up for the BuzzWordAthon. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed reading all of these books, although I don't think I'm going to push myself to read 5 books a week anymore. 4 I think is my max. So lesson learned. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next